pod yet, but we did.
We are live.
Announce the address.
Dude, no. But because my wife's job.
If I guess
and
it.
then, no. It's not about the location. It's about my wife's job.
Okay.
Yeah. I promise I will not only... I'm not going to announce the street. I will announce the town, though.
Okay.
When the time comes.
I'm going to guess it. I feel like I can guess it.
I bet you can.
I don't even need to look at a map. I can
Okay,
guess it.
nobody knows what we're talking about. So I'm gonna give you 2 guesses of towns.
Oh, I wasn't even guess the town. I was going to guess the address, the exact address. But I'm not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
I want to do it when you're allowed to talk about it.
Maybe next time. Probably next pod. I think I'll be able to.
I met a puppy the other day.
Oh.
A new puppy in my building, and it was a Providence puppy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Cute dog.
Name?
Milo,
Norman?
I think.
Milo.
Milo is a classic cartoon dog name.
Listens to the pod?
The dog? No.
Yeah.
I don't think
Nah.
so.
Doesn't?
Bullshit.
No,
Yeah.
if I had more time in this building, I would have planted the seed to get them on board, but
Get him out of there.
unfortunately not enough time left here.
Did a Ricky listener take your apartment?
Not officially. A few people reached out,
Okay.
including a Ricky staff member.
Ooh.
But I no
That's gotta be Abby.
Abby? Yeah, that was my guess.
no.
Whoa. MOC?
No.
Oh, it's gotta be the Danny.
It's the Danny.
Yeah,
Shout.
Danny has a
Young
job
Danny.
now, so he could pay rent.
Yeah. But no, nothing permanent yet. And it was really like the first 2 days, it was a bunch of emails and stuff, and then everything's fallen off since then.
Well, how about this? Leave this part in the pod, CJ. If you want to rent an apartment in the art museum area, a 2-bedroom apartment, CJ is vacating his apartment and needs somebody to take over the lease, potentially mid-March. But here's the thing. He sounds a little desperate. So if it's beginning of April, he could probably work on that too. It's a great apartment. He loves it. It's a good location. Good
He will
landlord.
leave a part of himself
there.
in some way.
He'll leave
Physical
something in the
or
pipes.
ethereal.
Yes.
I will cut off a finger and leave it
Yeah.
in the floorboards somewhere for you to find.
So
And we will then have you on the pod to do like updates from CJ's apartment.
Yes, 100%, by the way. And where can they email you if they want your apartment?
cjcoil0@gmail.com.
There you go. Leave it in the pod.
Given the real email address, and Spike
Yep.
won't even give his address.
I'll give this address.
CJ upstaging Spike once again.
The rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. By the way, you want to buy a house, a whole house? The rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook.
Infringing on CJ's thing. Oh my God. Just, come on.
Sign up for Draftkings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS, and brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process at 302-864-8643. MortgageCS, become a MortgageCS Ricky VIP at mortgagecs.com/Ricky. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter. So subscribe at rightsrickysanchez.com/newsletter. So they had like a whole week off. There was the All-Star game and all that kind of stuff. And then the Sixers came back, and boy, they still stink. They got their asses kicked by the Boston Celtics with Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George all playing.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixers also signed Lonnie Walker for 2 years. We will talk about that. What would happen if a team completely died in a plane crash and there was a disaster draft in the NBA? Who would the Sixers protect? That is a listener question. Well, look, man, it's August.
Too real.
And I maybe go over a couple of the All-Star game potential fixes that the NBA mentioned. Maybe if we get time, if we're done complaining about the current team at some point. I did mention Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka. Boy, it's good. The Sixers are bad, but Surfside is good. It tastes good. I had one this past weekend. I was just sitting around the house and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the fridge and get a Surfside. And it was the standard iced tea and vodka. And it's everything that I say it is when I do this thing. It is lightly sweet. There's no bubbles in it. It tastes awesome. All the different versions are awesome. The green tea and vodka, the raspberry tea and vodka, all that kind of stuff. It only has 3 grams of sugar and it's only 100 calories. And now in PA, you can get it anywhere that you get booze. It used to just be liquor stores, but beer distributors, yes. If your grocery store sells it, yes. gas station, yes, all that kind of stuff. If you'd like, though, you can just go to statesidevodka.com and order there, but you got to be 21 to drink it. And by the way, Fly the Process is still happening. So if you look, we're not dunking away any demons at Fly the Process, but it's a fun trip to Atlanta. The
demons dunk away us.
Yeah, that's as the demons stuff us in a basket. But fans of Philly trips are always fun. Like, look, the team always loses anyway, honestly. Or most of the time loses, but the trip will be fun. Fansofphilly.com is where you go, or just go to rightsrickysanchez.com/fly. It is March 21st to 24th, and we stay at the Omni Hotel Centennial Park. It's right next to the venue. It'll be fun. Be a fun trip to go see a bad team. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Geskin. I don't have anything clever. This is the first time. I don't have anything clever. That is the co-host, my buddy over there, Mike Levin. How we doing?
The co-host. We're back, babe.
Woo!
They are 20 and 35.
You keep saying they need to rest people to tank. They don't need to rest anybody.
No, they might not. The problem is they might just like accidentally fall into some wins here and there, but probably not. I guess the bigger concern is not like rest people to tank and more stop playing Maxey 40 minutes and stop playing Embiid and Paul George altogether, because why are you putting more mileage on their legs? Well, maybe it's over, but it's not happening this year.
Embiid, they say it's actually better if he plays. So I'm going to buy that.
I don't buy it.
No,
I don't buy it. You can play in practice. Play in practice then. Play in practice where guys aren't going to like, other team is not going to dive at your legs and like hit you with elbows and shit. He can break his face again. Like there's a million more things that can happen. It is a waste of precious resources. I rewatched Interstellar last night for the first time in a while.
I saw it.
Great movie.
We went to see it I played IMAX around us. We went to see it a few weeks ago in IMAX. It's kind of cool.
It kicks ass. And there's like, they're in space. They're going, they do like a long sleep to save resources and to save like air quality and stuff. That's what they should be doing with Joel. Like they have a limited amount of resources. He should be like in some sort of hibernation to not waste the little that we have left.
Can I say he should have to play? He should have to play. He doesn't get to not play. That is my opinion.
I mean, I understand the bitterness there.
I just want to like punish him. Actually,
I don't want to punish him. I want to punish everything in general. But I don't want to spite. Even though I do feel resentment towards everyone, I still wouldn't want to like make it worse. Basically,
yeah. Well, you're probably, if they keep looking the way that they look, which is, they'll probably maybe fire Nick Nurse. I don't know. He probably deserves to be fired, but also like they don't really care very much. This is, I said when I was watching, this is the worst I can ever remember them being defensively as long as we've been doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Like in every single way. And I can't tell how much of it, we can complain about when he goes zone, or you can complain about no help, all that kind of stuff. But really, if they're trying harder, it does seem like they would be better. It doesn't seem like Joel is all that interested on that side of the floor anymore. And if he isn't, makes it almost impossible, right? Makes me feel bad for Quentin Grimes and Gershon Yabusele and those guys. Like, why are we putting miles on those guys? That's it's actually
Sure. Bench everybody.
yeah.
Just let all the 10-day guys play. Yeah. I mean, it's so easy for other teams. Look, I'm rooting for losses. I don't give a shit. Fuck them. Fuck the season. The season is horrendous. It's over. It couldn't be more over. Every day, I have a picture of AU on my wall that I just throw knives into, just like knife after knife, sharp ones.
Wow.
And for defending, like, they should go for it. They should. Wow. Maybe it'll work. Ridiculous. But yeah, it's just so easy for other teams to get open looks. They beat guys off the dribble over and over again, and it's so hard for the Sixers to get open. Like a Celtics player would drive, get by his man, the entire Sixers roster and everyone in the coaching staff and front office runs like in a 5-year-old basketball game, runs at the ball handler, and then the ball handler goes, "Oh, everyone in the world is running at me. I can just hit one of several players open for 3," which he does, and they hit their 13th straight in a row. And then when the Celtics were hitting all their threes, Nick Nurse, what does he do? He smashes that zone button. He hits it so hard. And his rationale post game I just saw on Blue Sky was that they were hitting all their shots anyway, so you might as well.
Well, can you blame him?
Great. Just totally immediately phoning it in. Hope you had a nice break there, bud. But yeah, I mean, Joel defensively is the biggest bummer of the season.
Flag. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they're putting him in drop coverage, which he has done for the most part for all of his career, but he's so far away from shooters. Drew walks into an easy 3. Jaylen Brown walks into an easy 3, and then Porzingis pops off the screen, and he's got the easiest 3 in the world. And they just kept over and over again going at him in pick and roll. And they never had a time when it's like, oh, let's just switch everything. And the Celtics switch so much. Yeah. And preventing the Sixers from easily getting into the lane. And with Joel generally, they don't need him for the say magically there's another couple parts of seasons that he's back to the old Joel from earlier last season. I just don't need him to be a 30, 35 points a game guy anymore. I don't. That is not necessary. That is not where I want him to spend his precious resources.
It does seem like it is what he is most interested in on most nights, to be honest with you. Yeah.
What I need him to do is they don't need him to be an A+ on offense. They need him to be an A+ on defense. They need him to be an A+ on the glass. Obviously not this season. Again, not this season. Who gives a shit? It's over. But if he's got not that much in the tank, they need him to be so good defensively to anchor so much, especially when Maxey and McCain are operating, and plus whatever we have left to Paul George and stuff. They don't really need all the help offensively. He can just be a decoy, and he has become a better passer. Not as good as he was last year, obviously, because he just doesn't have his rhythm down, but he made some nice passes today. Whatever, got the ball out pretty quick for the most part.
Well, we got an email. I'm sorry, I forget who sent it, but it was just like, shouldn't he just be what's his name, Brook Lopez? Do you know what I mean? Like, play defense, shoot threes when you're open. Like, not that, but I mean, if Joel's entire existence was keeping people away from the rim, shooting open threes, and posting up half as many times as he does, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want. That's what, obviously Brook Lopez is the best player in the league against the Sixers, but some version of that sounds great. Sounds like a reasonable way to. Yeah, can he scale up when he needs to? Can he get you a bucket when he needs to? If other guys are hot, will they not throw double teams at him and he can go one-on-one? Sure, I think that's possible. But for the most part, I want him averaging 18 to 22 points a game and just moving the ball, setting the tone, cleaning up misses on rebounds. That's where I want him spending his energy, and then obviously protecting the rim.
By the way, especially earlier in the game, or if he could conserve energy and we could get, because he would still be theoretically one-on-one an unstoppable player, right? Like what a weapon to have. That's not what Brook Lopez has.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Brook early in his career was a good post player, but yeah.
Yes, but early in his career. But I'm talking about this version of Brook Lopez. Almost like two different players. Wow.
For sure.
Yeah.
And really spans two different eras of the NBA. But yeah, I mean, Joel offensively, like his knee buckles on a drive against Porzingis, goes down weird. He drives on Horford, spins, gets blocked on a fadeaway by Porzingis at the end of the half, goes down weird. That doesn't happen very often. He can't even really bully smaller guys inside right now. They get, Jalen on him or Drew on him, even the way like Yabusele does. And then he's just sort of like, so much of it is foul grifting. Even his foul grifting like feels griftier now than it did before. It's just really very bad. And I'm bummed watching him. I did think he probably moved a little bit better, fresh legs, but it didn't matter, obviously. I have no idea why they're still televising this
Sixers game.
How many more national broadcasts are we going to have to expose them to?
Well,
Kevin Harlan at one point says, Nick Nurse might be out of answers. Like they're down 25.
Maybe. Yeah.
Might be.
Maybe.
It's like when announcers like can't really say anything, when they go like, let me say like it's looking a little bit, might be looking bad down 47. It's just like, come on, dude. Like who are you talking to?
Well, what was the game?
Propaganda.
Actually, let me talk about Ksebe and then two things. One thing about that, remind me of the announcer thing. The Rice Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. Boy, if you have had to try to buy a house in the last 40 years, you would realize currently the value of a good realtor, because especially now, the inventory is low everywhere. Inventory meaning the amount of houses. So you really need a realtor who's going to stay on if you're going to buy a house, stay on the realtor who's selling the house. Maybe give you advice on how to bid, when to bid, what to do. Adam Ksebe is great. He is great. Now he patrols Delaware. Delaware beaches is what he is expert at. And Maryland, by the way. And his team based out of Long and Foster and Bethany Beach, they are aces. If you think it's hard to buy a house in like the regular area, imagine down the shore. And Delaware beaches, everyone's starting to discover that they are actually better, just as good. I don't want to insult anybody, Jersey Shore, just as good, but property taxes way lower. So if you're interested in a house at the Delaware beaches, Rehoboth or Lewis or Dewey or wherever you're, Bethany, wherever you're interested, or anywhere in Delaware or anywhere in Maryland, you have to reach out to Adam Ksebe. 302-864-8643. You could call or text. And if you want to buy or sell a home elsewhere, not in Delaware or Maryland, he can't do it, but he can be your first call. Just call him first. What he will do is he will find out what you're looking for. He will go and interview realtors. He'll go through his Rolodex, find the right one, and get you the realtor you need. So again, 302-864-8643 or Adam at processrealtor.com. What was the game that they came back toward the end? Was it the Toronto game?
Was it Milwaukee?
Milwaukee game, right. And I was watching the national broadcast.
That was UB.
Yeah, but was there a local broadcast to that one?
Can't remember.
I can't remember. Whatever. There was some game that was actually a disgrace. I think it was the 2-point Paul George game. Was that Milwaukee?
Yes.
Whatever it was. Somebody at work sent me a clip of Kate Scott at the end of the game going, man, they just fought and didn't win. And I was like,
yeah,
God bless you. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I would like Kate to just be like,
Fuck
bad
it.
season.
Yep.
Really bad season.
Really bad.
This is embarrassing. Obviously, then all of a sudden I'm doing the broadcast and I'm just like shitting on the team.
Yes.
It was bleak. Paul George.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Oh.
Wait, I think I might have it. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Edwards, the rookie, top of the key, wide right, and that is going to do it. Incredible fight from your shorthanded Sixers in their final game before the All-Star break. But just not enough as the Nets take this one tonight here in Brooklyn. Final score 100.
incredible fight from your short-handed sixer.
It's just like love
God
Kate.
bless you.
And she's trying to be what they want her to be, I guess. And
Yep.
if they're saying be optimistic, but like I want
Please let
more
her.
like repulsed.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
One other thing about the announcers tonight, and MOC mentioned this on Twitter. About this in
Oh, your mic got unplugged. Wow. Your mic is fully unplugged. Okay. No, you can't hear shit. I'll talk. Paul George. We'll talk about Paul George while Spike gets his microphone back together. It wasn't good, man. Another game with no free throw attempts for Paul George. The long twos were working, but it just isn't a sustainable way to score like high level basketball points. I was trying to see how many times he would get to the rim in the half court, and it was 0. He got to the rim 0 times in the half court. I counted 1 paint touch where he found a cutter and 1 paint touch where he kicked it out to 3. And other than that, man, like he can't beat Sam Hauser off the dribble. He's just not. It's really like if he was getting up 12, CJ pop in while Spike is figuring his stuff out. So it's not just me.
Talk to me.
Keep me company in here. If PG was like hoisting 12, 13 threes a game off the catch, just everything off the catch, and he was like, oh, I don't get to the basket anymore, but I do this, then it's like, okay. Yeah, I get that. You're slowing it down and also the season's over, whatever. But like how rarely he's getting to the rim or taking good shots. All of his shots are just like contested step back crap.
Paul George. I didn't even know what you're talking about. You're talking about Paul
I'm talking
George.
about Paul George. Yeah. I think that the idea
By the
is
way,
like
it's static. Static electricity goes off and is fucking up my connection. I think it's because I'm on a route. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
But I just think Paul George can't play fast. Like the Celtics play so fast but so under control. And PG, the way that he approaches the game is everything is so slow and methodical and like looking around. And it's not full Tobias-y because he doesn't just get into like post ups and stuff. And he, at least at his height, would get to the line more often and take more threes, obviously. But like, man, it's really bad. It's been a really bad run for him. He shouldn't be playing. Obviously, his finger is falling off. Maybe that's part of it.
I'm sure it's part of it. If Sixers Adam said when he showed it to him, he doesn't know how anybody plays professional sports like that.
Why do it, dude? Why are you doing it? I don't understand. It's like living in an apartment where the walls are coming off and being like, I'm really like scrubbing the floors very hard. It's like the walls are coming off. You don't need to be doing the floors.
That's not CJ's apartment, by the way.
That's not CJ's. No, his is beautiful. Yeah. Also, the moment where he was covering Tatum off ball and Tatum just faked the shit out of him and hit Cornette rolling like over and over. And it's just the lackadaisical. Like he never gets like pissed off playing PG. He never gets like takes it
I'm
personally.
gonna take this personally. Right.
And it's like obviously that's not the problem, but it's another in a miserable season. You can't just be as a 10-time All-Star or whatever you said last week. Like if you can't take it personal and you can't get offended and just take over a game and bully somebody into being like, I'm gonna fucking get this right now. It's been a really bad season.
I feel like you're blaming me for saying 10-time All-Star. I do
a little bit. I do. I wish I didn't know that.
It's sort of like with him and with Embiid now, it's like the part of the relationship where you both want to break up, so everything they do drives you fucking crazy. Like you hate everything that they do. Every little thing about Paul George drives me crazy. The thing I was saying when my fucking system went crazy is the announcers tonight kept saying, talking about Embiid surgery like it is this, like it's this thing that's definitely going to happen. I just like everyone has to know there is not some mystery surgery that he is due to have that will fix it. That is not a thing. It's not a real thing. The option number one, best option, his body adjusts to the new normal and he has less swelling. The other options are all just like wild, off the wall. What if we do this? What if we do this? What if we do this? So if you're waiting, if you think that the Sixers neglected to do some surgery or there's some mystery surgery coming this offseason that is going to fix everything, that is not likely. So,
No, and they're telling everybody that.
Yes.
That's what they're, and it's just sort of like heightens the weirdness of Joel going on the broadcast or telling Lisa Salters that there's like a surgery he might have to have. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Well, that I mentioned in the last pod. It's just like annoying.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah. Him being that way is annoying.
Very weird. Maxey played all right. He's good.
Fourth in the
seems like
league in scoring, by the way, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
probably not anymore. I mean, at least he sat him for most of the fourth quarter. I thought he looked fresh. I thought he attacked like the holes in the defense good. Got a nice steal off of Derek White 1-on-1, threw a lob to Grimes in transition. That was nice. They're going to attack them in this matchup on switches and post-ups and stuff, and I think that's good. I think it's ultimately good for him. I've really still been very impressed with Maxey as a defender this season, and I think he is someone that takes it personally. He is someone that like wants to fight down there and get physical, and I appreciate him for that. Just not worth it this season, and Nick Nurse should just do a better job monitoring his minutes because it is completely pointless to play him more when they're 20 and 35. If they started 3-14. If you threw away the 3-14 start, it was like, bad start, just like nightmare start, just get it out of here.
Yep. What
They
would
are
it be,
still
Mike?
under 500
Wow.
since then. And so what is it? There's no.
Eventually, they will say mercy. They will.
I hope they lost to Toronto and Brooklyn back to back going into the All-Star game.
Yep.
It's just a nightmare season, dude. An absolute
Worst season I've ever seen.
Total nightmare season. 15 games under 500 after the All-Star break. Yeah. I mean, and I think we mentioned Nick Nurse earlier, but like he hasn't done anything with the Sixers this season to deserve to stay. Maybe you can write it off as injuries and stuff, and maybe if the team, what the front office and the ownership has to do is like find out from the players that you care about at least. Like, could something change? Could everybody get healthy next year? If everyone's healthy next year, is this the guy you want to lead them? Like, does there feel like there's juice there? And if the case is like, a resounding yes, which it doesn't seem to be, then you go, okay, I'm not going to like bang the table for them to fire Nurse. I don't care that much.
The fact that I don't think Embiid is a very big Nurse guy makes me want them to keep Nurse. I'm in like full mad at Embiid mode now, I guess.
To what end?
I don't know. But to what end? Anything, honestly.
Okay.
No, I don't. I don't think there is anyone who can. I thought he did a good job with them last year. I think that is fair to say he did a good job with them last year. I think he is likely a good head coach. I do not understand what keeping him does.
I mean,
So,
he's been horrible this season. He really has been horrible. Like, so every button that he's pushing, whatever the defense is, if he wants to claim credit for the defense or if he wants to pin it on an assistant coach, fine. But like, whatever the defense is, it is not being applied. Like, they are such a bad defensive team.
one of the worst I've ever seen.
They are such a bad defensive team, and there are good defenders on this team that are playing some of the worst collective team defense that anyone's ever seen for like a quote unquote serious team. I mean, yeah, they're
not.
He plays Drummond in this game. Drummond plays 13 minutes. Awful. Just awful.
Drummond's one of the worst Sixers. Seems like a nice guy. His play this year is the worst performance.
So awful. So bad.
Worst performance of the process era.
He leaves a ball handler on a switch. He just runs away from him. Peyton Pritchard goes, okay, and hits a three in his face. Next possession, defensive 3 seconds. After the technical, he goes into drop coverage where his man screens Pritchard open for another three while he's standing 15 feet away. And just like completely helpless. And it's amazing how much better Luke Cornett is than him. So much better. Such a better player as he gets rebounds over Drummond and alters more shots at the other end. Protects the rim. They're they're 15 games under 500 and they're playing him over Bona. What they should be doing. So Daryl signs. If I'm willing to say, like, I would have also done the Paul George thing, so I can't blame him for that, whatever.
Yep.
So the thing that I do blame Daryl for is giving both two player options to Drummond and Eric Gordon.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And so
luckily, Eric Gordon hates it here so much. He has a fake injury. And
I don't know. He's got a fake injury. He's asking specialists. The specialists are like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
I hope if he retires and declines it, great. What they should be doing, though, is sitting Drummond on the bench all season and give him the like least comfortable chair and like fuck with his locker and take away his favorite lunch meal so that he opts out. So he wants to leave. Like make it hell for him. Honestly, they need him to decline that player option. They desperately need him to, or they're gonna have to attach another fucking pick to get rid of him. So just like bully him, I guess. Like, get him out of there. And the fact that they're playing him in this game, he was awful. And you could look at the thing and be like, oh, 13 minutes, 8.7 rebounds. No, he's bad. Don't just look at the stats and say he played well. He's awful. He was horrendous. Yeah, when he's the only guy underneath for a rebound, God, he grabs that ball. He gets two hands on that ball and he grabs it. He pulls it in. My ball. But when there's anybody else around, he gets out jumped so often. It's bad. He's bad.
They should do to him what Shaq did to Lou Amundsen. Did you see that story on the Jason Richardson podcast? I guess Shaq took Lou Amundsen's mouthpiece and put it in his like tights, in his shorts, in his ass, and then gave it back to Lou Amundsen, and Amundsen never knew. Jesus. And there's another thing where he took his
that's actually bullying, though.
Yeah, he took his a toothbrush, I guess, and I think he put the toothbrush in his butt.
Wow, that's fucked up. You get real sick out of that.
Yes.
That's fucked up. If I'm Lou Amundsen, I'm suing Shaq. Yes. Like, Shaq has a lot of money. I am suing the shit out of Shaq.
The Rice to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. Oh, boy. Who's scoring big in the NBA this season? That's what it says out here. I can tell you who's not.
Scoring big.
Who is not?
Anyone playing the Sixers.
Who's not? Yeah,
smash that over.
Yeah, here's a fucking little tip that you can make a lot of money with. Whoever is playing with the Sixers, the over on the game, over on the first half, over on the second half, over on all their fucking players. Let's see. What are the Sixers to make the playoffs? I was looking at this the other day.
Vegas still has them like in the mix for winning a championship. I think if you're betting Sixers championship odds,
let's see.
You should have to like hand over your phone. Well, you shouldn't be allowed to drive or operate machinery. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to. It's not like a value bet. Give it up. Just give your money to give your money to charity and tell whichever charity you give it to just, hey, if the Sixers win a championship, give me this money back. And they'll probably be like, sure.
Every charity would take that bet.
Absolutely.
Every charity would take that bet. So currently they're plus 10,000, which doesn't sound like respectful or doesn't sound respectful. But then when you realize they're in between the Rockets and the Suns.
It's insane, dude. The Rockets are aren't they the 2 seed in the West?
Now they're plus 6,000, but the Suns are plus 12,000. The Suns have no chance, but they have much better chance than the Sixers.
Oh my God. What are we doing? The Sixers are 15 games under 500.
They suck.
If this was if they played a baseball schedule, they wouldn't have enough time to turn this shit around.
DraftKings, please fucking make the odds longer.
Longer.
Now, if you're a first timer at DraftKings, bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Look, you might as well bet on other stuff because the Sixers season is just atrocious. So take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts.
Bet against the Sixers. Please bet against Sixers. Every game, bet against the Sixers.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code RTRS. That's RTRS for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you
Paul George unders. Please.
Only at DraftKings. I told Ike that today. only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details.
And it is tough just to finish up with the game. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the other guys like play hard. Like Oubre
Yes.
plays hard. A couple nice rolls to the rim. Finish strong here and there. Like making plays on defense. He attacks. He gets downhill. I like when he's the worst shooter out there in the starting lineup. Like he can make noise and make plays just by being in the dunker spot and cutting and stuff. And he made some stuff happen out of that. And Quentin Grimes is just good, man. He's just a good player. He knows what he's doing out there. He's always looking to push. He's a good rebounder for a guard. He plays hard as hell. He attacks the rim in the half court. He attacks the rim in transition. Threes weren't going in tonight, but I think he's just a really good player, and I hope he's here for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Quentin Grimes is good. They have too many good players to be this bad, honestly.
Yeah, they really do. And that's why ultimately, like, you can blame you have to blame the top guys and you have to blame Nurse.
Yes.
For it's like there are good players on this team. And not to say that the front office didn't make plenty of mistakes, and being way too old, and they're course correcting that now, like getting younger wherever they can. But yeah, I mean, Ricky Council comes in as the second man off the bench. I like him running the floor. He ran the floor. I'd like him to run the floor like filling a lane more than I would like him to like navigate with the ball in his hands. Got a nice bounce pass from Maxey for a dunk. He's 2 of 5 from 3. He does seem a little bit more comfortable shooting regular shots off the catch, does our friend Ricky. A smaller proportion of insane shit than he had in the past, but that's what the rest of the season should be doing. Like, let those other guys just play a shit ton of minutes and see if they can figure something out.
So the Sixers did sign, by the way, like, okay.
We can talk about David Roddy even.
Yes, we'll talk about both those guys. How about that? We'll talk about Lonnie Walker and David Roddy. The lottery party. So I think, like, my gut tells me if the Sixers are in the lottery, we got to have a lottery party.
Yeah.
But I'm so mad at them. I feel like the vibe would be a bummer. Do you think people want the lottery party? Or are we just going to scream, fuck the Sixers the entire time? Now, that would also be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the right thing to do.
I think it probably is. We'll see what the rest of the season looks like.
Yeah.
God, the Nets and the Cavs were close for a little bit. It was a couple point game at halftime, tied at halftime, but the Cavs have pulled away. The Sixers and Nets play each other coming up. That's going to be an important game to lose.
Steve
friends.
asked when is Daryl coming on? I don't know. You should ask him. Tweet at him. Fucking send him Instagrams. He should come on.
We've been trying.
Love you, Daryl. We have been trying.
I mean, he needs to face us. Is what
He
needs
does.
to happen.
And
I honestly, and like we're going to be hard on him, but also like
fair.
we're going to be we've apologetic because like a lot of the decisions he made this offseason, I would have also made.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not just going to be.
No, we're not just going to, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? That's what you'll get from other media. It's not what you're going to get from us. We will ask you real questions, and what better place, right?
You gotta face it.
It's a come to Jesus moment, and we're Jesus.
We are collectively Jesus.
Jesus.
The two of us and CJ are Jesus.
Or Jesus. So the Sixers signed Lonnie Walker for 2 years. He was, of course, I think he was the 18th pick in the draft in 2018 by the Spurs, maybe 17th pick. He was playing in EuroLeague. In EuroLeague, he was averaging what? He was averaging 11 points and 2 assists and 3 rebounds, shooting 33% from 3. He's, you know what? It's exciting for a minute, and then you realize, like, oh, Lonnie Walker's just like a guy.
He's just
it's fine, you know.
He's a guy. He's Reading guy, hometownish guy, strong 2 guard. He's athletic, but he doesn't like use it a ton on the court. Average shooter can get hot. He's 26. He just turned 26. Maybe there's like a Yabusele turnaround type thing that they could turn into a more useful player. But this is the stuff they should be doing. Like, how, did he go to the EuroLeague and come back like a more aggressive, like do the little things type of guy? Does he have, did he mature? Did he get older and like realize what it's going to take to be in the NBA? We'll see. I don't mind it. They need to, I think they're probably going to let Roddy's contract expire because they bumped up Jared Butler. They bumped up to a standard contract. They bumped up Justin Edwards to a standard contract.
Yep.
So then Roddy would be the one, unless they can agree to a Kyle Lowry or Eric Gordon buyout, which
Roddy
would be nice.
looks really comfortable shooting threes. Is he good shooter, or does he just look like he knows what he's doing?
He had 2 threes rattle in and out.
Yep.
Tonight, the Wells Fargo Center has always been against me, and I've always resented it. Did have a couple nice finishes inside. He's not a great shooter, but he is not a horrific one. He can get hot. He's got decent form. He will be someone that they have to close out on and something. So, he's fucking physical as hell. He's got a boat in his gut.
The original
obviously.
boat. Yep.
The original boat. I appreciate him. I appreciate Daryl for bringing him to me. I like him playing this game. I would guess that they let his 10-day expire and sign him to a 2-way would be my guess, because they need to open up a spot. They also signed Alex Reese to a 2-way today. Who's like a big, like a 4 from
They should sign
Alabama.
Merrill Reese.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He was a real, years ago, role player at Alabama. He had no pro designs whatsoever. I read on Liberty Ballers actually that he, after college, because I haven't thought about Alex Reese in a long time. He was with the Thunder for this season, so I was kind of like, where did this come from? But I didn't really look into it that much. After he graduated to Alabama, he became a bartender for a year after college and was like a mover. And then he goes and plays professionally.
Beer and shots guy, or craft cocktails?
I think he's versatile.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if there's anybody that was served by Alex Reese, I guess reach out to us.
Yeah.
So we can know what kind of bartender he was.
Yeah.
But since he got back to the States and playing in the G League and stuff, has crazily upped his volume as a 3-point shooter. He just was not that in college at all. And if you watch the tape on him, he's got a really, really easy release, a really smooth and easy release. That he gets up quick, and he's like 6'8", 6'9", pretty athletic, just a complete basketball player. Was not a good 3-point shooter in college, and has really turned it around. And so I think it's a worthwhile gamble also if this guy figured something out also. Take a look. Why not?
Real quick on All-Star. Mac McClung is awesome. What an incredible
I need him a
performance.
little bit more variety. I'll just say that. I think he's a couple of impressive dunks, but all of the dunks are him, someone holding the ball right here, and it's him jumping in different ways to get it. It's
it's just
you gotta
dunking,
mix it
bro.
up.
It's just that maybe what
You
if he
gotta
played
mix
a
it up.
guitar?
You got to mix it up.
What if he played a guitar while he was dunking?
If he played a guitar while he's dunking, I think that would be a big win for the podcast. And
Jumping
really,
over the car, legit, not like Blake Griffin who faked it, was pretty legit.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that the dunks weren't cool. I'm just saying I need a variety of them.
Okay.
If everything is just a guy holds it right here and is make your neck go down more. It's just the whole time it's just some random guy that's doing this.
Every time he takes the ball and he forcibly throws it through the rim. And I just need 2 options for All-Star, which honestly could be solved if the players just tried harder. But here are the 2 options. Would you rather have a one-on-one tournament or USA versus the world?
Well, I don't think those are mutually exclusive. I think the one-on-one tournament should happen instead of the skills challenge. The skills challenge is a joke. It has been a joke for a long time. The rules don't make any sense. And they also mostly half-ass it.
Yep.
And when Chris Paul and Wembanyama, who has a blood clot, very sad and upsetting that he won't play the rest of the season, when they rightfully say these rules are bullshit, I'm just going to do them in the way and that half-ass them in the way that is a clear and easy loophole, and they just go you're disqualified. I think it's pathetic. It's a pathetic joke, and people are betting on this shit, and so that they can just do that. It's stop doing that. What a
Did
pathetic
you bet
thing.
on the skills challenge?
No, but people do. I've won money on the skills challenge in the past.
Okay.
Just such a bad. Who is deciding it? It just seems like everybody is looking around me well, we can't change it. And it's you're the NBA. It's all made up. All this shit is made up. You can fucking change it. And the fact that they don't have a one-on-one tournament, I think, is a joke. Unrivaled's one-on-one tournament was great. Was really, really fun to watch. The rules were every 7. It's a shot clock of 7 seconds.
Only thing though is I do feel like and one-on-one on TV might not be as good as like I feel a little bit like the idea of one-on-one is better than the reality of one-on-one. A little bit.
To me, it has the potential to be incredible.
Yeah.
And not every game is going to be good, obviously, but certainly more juice
Better
than
than
whatever
this.
the skills challenge is. As far as
do
the game,
like USA versus the world, like
but
if we
they've
can
done that
take-
before, and they haven't really cared that much.
Yeah, but it has to be. I don't know. I feel like maybe they should just try harder. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to get them to do that. I kind of just
ask
would be
them.
fine doing them East-West
Nicely.
and
Ask them.
maybe let them play in their jerseys. I like that. That was cool when they got to do that.
They should do white guys versus black guys.
That's just start a race war.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting as long as we can have the Euro guys, we're getting better. We're better than we were 10
Don't
years
say
ago.
we. I don't want to. Don't say we.
Well, as the white guys.
Don't say we.
If it's white guys versus black guys, I got news for you, Mike. You're not on the black guy team.
But I'm
if
not.
you're
I'm not
playing.
on any team.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. If there's a race war, I'm not going to be on the white team. Let me tell you that much.
Well, I got news for you. The black people are not going to want you on that
I'm
team
not
either.
on either team as far as what I'm rooting for, Spike.
Okay.
I'm not rooting for the white guys in a race war, is what I'm saying.
Well, are you rooting for anybody in the race war?
If I have to, yeah.
And you're going
For
to
sure.
Well, if you're in the race,
I guess I have rooting interest, I guess, of an isolated situation. Anyway, it's not. I don't think that's not going to happen. Although it would be funny. Yeah, I don't know how to make the players care. It's a
Yeah.
bummer.
well, yeah. I mean,
Maybe they should stop doing it.
well, but yeah. I mean, it's a shame that is the issue. Is I guess what I would say. Like that's a bummer because basketball is one sport. You know, they can't care in football. Like they can't actually have the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl's always been a joke, right? It's too dangerous. You can't do it. Basketball, like you can play basketball. You play basketball all summer. You play pickup games. Like there are a million different times you can get hurt. You can play this game without thinking to yourself, "Oh no, I might get hurt." You practice all the time. You get hurt doing that. Like you just have to try hard. That's it.
Yeah.
They used to try hard. Try hard at least in the fourth quarter. You know.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Try.
There's just got to be some level of like pride
Yes.
imbued into this. Maybe you do it like based on East versus West, based on like where you're from. If there's a way to do that, like
You could do that,
far
like
as, like-
fighting for cities or whatever.
yeah, something like that.
Like the old rap thing, like East Coast, West Coast. That was
Sure.
ended up great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rights to Ricky. This is dark. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by MortgageCS. Man, I am currently learning what it's like to be a MortgageCS Ricky VIP. Go to mortgagecs.com/Ricky. MortgageCS, independent mortgage broker. Again, if you're new to this, you never bought a house before or whatever, what a mortgage broker does, they're not the lender. They don't give you the money, but they go to the lenders and they like figure out which is the best place for you to go. And I should let you know, if you're going to buy a house sometime in 2025, get the process started now. Reach out to MortgageCS now. The quicker that you have that ready, the quicker they can get you pre-approval letters, and it's going to go up. Like it's going to get busy very, very quickly as soon as spring gets here. But I'm learning what it's like, and it is actually wild. MortgageCS, like the quickness with which they respond to an email or a text message or a phone call. And it's not just me, it's like every person that we reach out to or reaches out to us that uses them says the same thing. Ben, the CEO, here is the cell phone number. I actually called Ben on my way home again today to ask him about something. He sent me this chart. I didn't understand it. He explained it to me like I was an idiot. That's a compliment. Now I understand it. 267-391-7425. That is 267-391-7425. And the other thing I would say, and they have explained this to me numerous times, we have no idea where rates are going to go in the next 3 months or 6 months. So if what you're doing is you're waiting for rates to go down to buy a house, I don't think that's a great plan. What you do is you work with MortgageCS now, and if rates drop precipitously, you can always refinance. You can consolidate consolidate debt, all those sorts of things. They can help you with that too. But I really can't, and when this process is over, I'll give you the details on it. I just can't explain. I've worked with 2 different mortgage brokers before MortgageCS when we bought this house and the house in Delco, and it is nothing like this. It's nothing like this. And nothing against those people. They were fine, but MortgageCS is just different. It's way different. And if you're going to buy a home, I cannot imagine you going to anybody else. It seems like an enormous mistake. MortgageCS.com/Ricky. Find out what they're all about. Set up a consultation or just call or text their CEO, Ben, at any time, 267-391-7425. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. MortgageCS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com/Ricky for more information. So this email came from Jim, Spike, Mike, CJ, and Daryl. I'm sure Daryl is aware of this, but probably nobody else. And he sends a note from what looks like the NBA Wikipedia page. The National Basketball Association contingency plan.
Who's looking up the NBA's Wikipedia page?
Yep. Contingency
light
plan.
Research about the National Basketball Association.
Activates if 5 or more players on a team, quote, die or are dismembered. A special, quote, disaster draft will be held in which other NBA teams could only protect 5 players.
Disaster draft. We've had a few of those.
Right. So no more than 1 player could be drafted from a team. So the question is, if this actually happened to the Utah Jazz, or pick a random franchise, which players would the Sixers actually protect? So instead of asking who the Sixers would protect, I am going to ask you, Mike, who you would protect in the disaster draft on the Sixers.
How many can you protect?
You can protect 5 and they can only take 1.
That's what it was like in the WNBA expansion draft as well.
Was there a disaster there?
No.
Okay.
Happy expansion to Golden State.
Okay.
Certainly Maxey. McCain.
Yep. I know what you're going to do, and I'm going to do the same thing. I hope you're honest about this.
I'm really studying the roster. I'm looking at it. Could do and I would like them, whatever they do for a disaster, I would want it to be televised, and I would want them to have to maybe shoot a bow and arrow through the player who they are not protecting, and so that they sort of, there's a physical manifestation of them not being protected. So we got Embiid and PG looking at me, and you would keep the contract that they are already signed to, right?
Yes. Okay, here's
you got
what
Embiid and PG on one side, so I'm down to Embiid, PG, and then probably Grimes and Yabusele. You could probably make an argument for Justin Edwards, but probably not. Maybe Bono, probably not, just because rookie deal stuff. There's a chance that they go oh, we'll leave Embiid and PG unprotected because there's salary cap stuff. But let's try to not think of it that way. And
wow, I'm asking who you would protect.
I know. I'd probably protect all the guys you think I would protect.
So you would protect Embiid?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would protect Jared McCain.
Probably. So let me just finish.
Okay.
Maxey, McCain, Grimes, Embiid. If Paul George is dead, if the Sixers are close enough to him where they were yeah, it's just not. His numbers are, all our tracking data is bullshit, and he's going to be awful. Then I'm happy to unprotect him and go to Grimes and Yabusele.
Okay.
But if they're no, he's going to bounce back and he's going to be fine, then I'll probably protect Grimes over Yabu.
So I will protect Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Gershon Yabusele, Quentin Grimes. Is that 4?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Edwards.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not protecting Joel Embiid or Paul George. Absolutely not. There's no love you, Joel, 100%.
Doesn't sound like it.
I do. If somebody wants to take that on, then go for it. I don't think anybody would take him. I don't think they would take him.
You think if a player's You think if a team died,
Yes.
they wouldn't take Joel?
You would start your franchise with that with
Well, it depends
Joel's
who
contract
dies.
until 2029.
Does your center die, and do you still have a high volume guard?
Let's say the whole team is dead.
Okay.
It was a tragic plane crash, so they're starting fresh.
Okay. I could make a contender off of people unprotected around the league if my
I'm
team
sure
died.
you would think you could.
I could.
Yeah.
I'd have a blast doing that. I would go to all the funerals. I would apologize to the families. I would blame anyone at the FAA or people defunding the FAA for the plane crash. And then I would have a really good time at this expansion draft for who I'm stealing for my team.
Yeah.
All hypothetical, of course.
Yeah. Well, of course it's hypothetical. A team didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
It would be
came
fun.
from
It would be fun to do. Fun exercise. So if you really like vary out on like where I mean,
well, I'm realistic. I don't want to. We've said this before, and we're not going to lead every pod off with "this is over, we're dead," blah 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 blah. But if you're asking me, are you just? I'm sorry. Finish. Not to interrupt you. I'm sorry. What were you going to ask about Joel?
just I mean, it's saying that you wouldn't protect him in a when you have 5 players to protect. I think that's a very serious shift.
Well, because here's the thing is if it never gets right, which to me is more than likely, then that contract is like John Wall.
Yeah.
It's like the end of the Ryan Howard contract, if we remember that. A player who we adore, by the way, Ryan Howard, we love, but all we talked about was how could Ruben Amaro sign him to that extension at the end of that contract. And this is a lot more prohibitive because of the salary cap in the basketball. So I just first of all, I don't think the team would take him, if I'm being honest with you. So I don't even think you need to protect him. I don't think the team would take Paul George either. Maybe they might. I think it's more likely to take Paul George than Embiid.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Still dealing with the hypothetical.
Yep.
Take contract out of it.
Yep.
Who do
Then it's worth a shot.
Then
I would protect him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the question then becomes like, what is the chance of the chance of Embiid coming back to being something like he was in the first half of last season, pre-Kuminga?
Right.
Is that worth losing him entirely for nothing?
Right. I think here's where I came in on, I think, how Daryl sees the Embiid thing, would theoretically see the Embiid thing, and how maybe I would see it slightly different. Is what Daryl would say is, because you need a top 5 player, so on and so forth, Joel Embiid gives us a better chance to win a championship than any other option we can think of. Better chance to win a championship, which I would agree with. But what he doesn't calculate is that the floor is so incredibly low, and that most fans would rather have, and let's say there's a 3% chance that Joel Embiid comes back and wins a championship, 5%, whatever percent you want to put on it. I think a lot of people in real life, they might not decide this if you presented them with this option. They might just take the better of the championship odds. But if you could give me better seasons throughout and a slightly lower chance of winning a championship, maybe if Joel Embiid is 5%, give me an option that's 3%, but every year it feels a little bit more like we have an actual basketball team, then that may be better from an operational perspective and an enjoyment perspective. So if he's just looking at flat championship odds, I understand it. Also, he has no choice right now. Like, if this is the way it is for the rest of the year, they couldn't trade him in the offseason.
Unless Daryl crashes the plane.
Unless Daryl crashes the plane. Well, that's the other option, is can he that is so dark.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to me that I understand what you're saying. You're saying that Daryl is thinking about things on a binary level.
Well, I think
that also your thing about saying I'd rather have a more teamy team is also a little bit binary. Like in a situation where McCain stayed healthy and Paul George wasn't also hurt at the same time as Joel was, and Maxey didn't start terribly, and Nick Nurse had a better handle on whatever was going on with his team, and they just did a better job around the fringes. Like last year, like plenty of seasons, Embiid hasn't been out as much as he was this season and last season, but like last season they were more of a respectable team without Joel. They were obviously a better team with Joel than they were this year with Joel, but there was a lot of reason to think that this season, say Joel missed the first 50 games of this season before the season started. Mm-hmm. You're like, Joel's going to miss the first 50 games. Mm-hmm. Here's the team, everybody as is. Mm-hmm. What would you have said the Sixers record would have been after those 50 games?
26-24.
Absolutely.
Yep. Right. You'd be in the same boat.
Right there.
Right?
Yeah. Give or take a couple games right there.
Yeah.
The fact that they were as bad as they were without Joel compounds the fact that Joel was also bad when he has been playing. But my feeling is Joel upside when healthy, who knows if we ever see that version of him again, is still tantalizing enough at this point. Obviously, we're not working backwards anymore. We're just looking forward. The upside of Joel is still tantalizing enough that the mission essentially is, can you get back to being that 26-24 team without Joel, that when he plays, if you have a chance at seeing him be healthy and letting him add to that like average team into being like contender-ish again, then that's the mission is to be able to do both versions, is to try to get Joel healthy and also have a fine enough team that you're not the worst team in basketball when by the time he gets back healthy, if he ever does, obviously.
Here's the way I guess I would, if I'm putting like player names on it, what do we think Jalen Brunson is? Like the 12th best player in the NBA?
I had to look at it, but sure.
So just example, whatever.
Yeah.
I think
8 to 15 somewhere, yeah.
I think on some level, Daryl would opt to keep Embiid rather than Jalen Brunson, because the chance of Embiid being the best player on a championship team is better than the chance of Jalen Brunson being the best player on a championship team, which I would agree with. However, it might be right, but it also might be the wrong decision. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. I think at this point, Daryl might not say that.
Yes. Maybe now. Devin Booker, maybe the player a little bit less good, but yes, maybe at this point Daryl would whatever.
Yeah.
The final, I just want to read this email because I think it is very funny and it's something that we need to hear.
Okay. I got one thing after this also.
Okay. This came from Wade to write to RickySanchez@gmail.com. Hi, Spike, Mike, and CJ. Happy August. For the past few years, I've been listening to the podcast before going to sleep, and my wife has begrudgingly listened along. She's not a basketball fan, but very quickly your deranged podcast made her fall in love with the Sixers. Last week,
That's not the intent, by the way. Let's be clear.
No.
It should have the opposite effect.
Scare you from this. Fall in love with us, hate the Sixers. Last week, when I made an offhand comment about the Sixers just need to get into the play-in, she started responding in Spike and Mike impressions, which I had no idea she had. She did the ad reads, calling it LL Dvorsky Jewelers.
Jesus Christ.
And spent a solid 5 minutes calling my optimism stupid with her Mike impression. If there's one positive note from this season from hell, it might just be that my wife has developed a tight five of Ricky-related material, TTP. Wade, we need a recording of her doing this.
Yeah, I'd hear that.
Need it. Okay. All right. What do you got? What's your last thing?
Went to the women's basketball USC UCLA. Very good right now. Mm-hmm. Both top 5 of the nation.
It's cool because UC at USC, when I went my year at USC, you realize you fucking hate you at UCLA when you're at USC. But the teams were never, our basketball team, men's team was horrible when I was there. Yeah. Our women's team, Roxy Nurse, actually, Donovan's wife was there when we were on that team, but they weren't very good either. But it's cool when both teams are good.
Yeah. And so UCLA. Alyssa, my wife, went to SC. The rest of her family went to UCLA, so she hates UCLA. It's a feel it in their bones type of thing.
It's a real.
So we've been going to a lot of USC basketball games the last few years, and we went to USC UCLA, and it was, first of all, a sick game. Juju Watkins incredible. The arena was packed and very hyped for it. A lot of the stars were out, and what happens when the stars come out? There's one of two people that could also have been there.
Oh, Tommy Alter was there.
He wasn't at this one, but I did get something else from Tommy where he's in fucking one of the Haim sisters' Instagrams where one of the Haim sisters is like kissing a bunch of guys, just having fun little kisses, and one of the guys she kisses is Tommy. Someone sent it to me.
Wait, what sister? Are you talking about the band?
Yeah.
Oh, Haim.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And so
So
Tommy's
one
doing
of them
that.
kisses Tommy.
One of them kisses Tommy. He can't. I'm sure he was waiting in line for that. He had a special deal, and it's fucking Michael Rubin at the USC UCLA game.
Oh no!
Probably sitting next to somebody normal. Nope. He's never sat next to a non-famous person.
Oh.
It's
Lil Uzi Vert.
It's Vanessa and Natalia Bryant at the SC game.
Why?
And it's just like he just cannot help himself but be around only famous people at sporting events and going like, and here I am. I deserve to be here. Oh, I was sitting really close to him too. I was sitting in front of Sean Yu, who works for what's that podcast company, the one that does Bomani and New Heights and all that stuff. Wave.
I don't know.
Anyway, he's a producer. He used to work at the Ringer. Nice guy. I play basketball with him. And he was like, "That's Michael Rubin." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And it's just like I could hit him in the back of the head with a ball. And I caught a shirt in that game also. And I wanted Michael Rubin to be looking at me as I caught a shirt from the toss to be like, "You can't fucking throw for shit, bro. You can't throw at all."
You should have thrown it at him.
I wanted to keep the shirt though. Man, brutal.
Good stories.
The bad guys just keep on winning.
Yep.
And the Sixers keep losing, which is good. We do like that. We do like this.
Better lose than win at this point. You know, I'm let them play, but also don't care if they lose. They got so embarrassed. The game tonight, there's been, the Sixers are 0-5 since Daryl said if you squint, you can see a title contender.
They've lost 6 in a row now. Yeah.
Yeah. The one tonight, I just thought losing.
They haven't won since the deadline.
Well, losing to the Nets and the Raptors is embarrassing. Mm-hmm. But when you're actually playing a contender and you can see the difference, you're like, oh, you have to. Do you know how hard you have to squint, buddy? Mm-hmm. Do you know how hard you have to squint? Did you watch that game?
You're gonna give yourself a headache.
Yeah.
I am. I have one. We have a podcast this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you're going to Italy.
No, that was the honeymoon. This
Japan.
is the two-year anniversary. We're going to Japan.
Japan. Right.
So I'm so excited to not watch the Sixers when I'm on my anniversary trip.
Now, you never like saying where you're going. Are you worried that you're going to be accosted in Japan by somebody who knows that you're going to be there for that time?
I might go. There's a Philly bar in Tokyo that I saw
really?
after the Super Bowl. Somebody was climbing a light pole outside of it.
Oh, really?
And so I think we're going to try to go there. So if you're a Ricky listener in Japan, let's go.
We have them.
Let's do it.
Actually, we got an email from, hold on. I won't read the email because it's a whole other thing, but we got, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me find it. Al from Tokyo.
Hell yeah.
A longtime Delco resident, works on a long-time work assignment in Tokyo. So Al, reach out.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Japan and Australia, the two places I want to go. I don't really want to travel overseas. Oh, and then I have a surprise trip actually this summer that I'm going to tell you about on the podcast because I want to see your reaction to it.
Okay.
A surprise international trip I'll give you one guess what it is, with somebody. I'm going on a trip to Europe.
Okay.
With somebody to see a thing. And I wonder if you want to guess what it is.
Right now or later?
If you want to throw a guess out now, you can keep guessing.
Trip with somebody. I feel more confident guessing your home address.
Right.
And
And it's not my wife, obviously. It's or I wouldn't be saying with somebody.
Of
I'd be
course.
saying with my wife. Yeah.
A trip. Okay. My guess if you're going with is someone in music.
Okay.
I think it could be Amos.
Okay.
And where you're going is the place you're going that something that I would also react to?
It's really just like an entire package of it. I think, let's put it this way. If the thing I was going to, if it was not part of this package, you wouldn't react very much to it. But when you hear it as part of this package, it's going to sound like it's made up. It's going to sound like it is not actually happening, but it is happening. I got a passport for it.
Okay. So it's got to be a music thing. That's the only reason you would do this.
I'll say on that
history of the guitar
on the
with
right
Amos
path.
Lee.
No, but I will give you credit. It is a music thing.
Okay.
That part of it you got right. So you'll keep guessing till I tell
Mootlu?
you. No, I'm gonna give you. I only said one guess. No,
Okay.
it's not Mootlu.
Okay.
All right. It's
All right.
Remember, I want to see your reaction to it. So you have to think about
That's
that.
why I thought it was like the history of the guitar.
Right. Oh
There's
no, that
something
would be
along the
funny.
guitar solo.
No.
That's what I was leaning towards. But
All right. We'll have fun in Japan, but you are on this weekend's pod.
this weekend I'll be here.
Okay.
Then we leave after, yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the Sixers cannot hurt me while I'm gone.
No,
They
nope.
can't.
Well,
They won't.
Don't threaten them or don't dare them is what I would say. All right. We'll talk to you next time. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, like face.